you beating yourself up is like Woody Allen playing a clarinet. I don't want to hear it. But first,
Five God on the beat.
welcome to the Deep Focus podcast. On today's episode, we are going to react to the Emmy nominations that were announced on Tuesday morning. As always, I'm your co-host Varun with a boy Murad. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm very good. Been watching a lot of TV in preparation for this.
For
Or
those
just,
who didn't see, Murad waved,
oh
So
yeah, I should
in
probably
case you're wondering what
stop.
the awkward in case you're wondering what the awkward silence was in the second between when I asked him and what was going on, he laid back and just waved. We have
I
a lot
didn't, yeah,
more.
it was one of those like salutes, like John Cena does, one of those.
So you don't want
Um,
to. So you don't want to be seen.
yeah, that's just like that. Yeah, I tell you, I met John Cena once. It was really
No,
cool.
no.
I
Please
was
tell.
walking.
Please tell us.
Oh,
Prove it.
are you being sarcastic? Because that's a really
No,
cool
no, no,
story.
no.
Oh,
No, it's
okay,
just,
okay. So,
story time.
so I was walking.
Story
I was
time with
walking
story
downtown.
time with Murad.
So I was walking downtown, and he's here filming Suicide Squad. I think this is the second one because they're filming again now. So I'm walking down and I'm taking photos of my friend, and I see someone walk. Just they're going to walk in frame. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's okay, you guys go. And I just moved forward so they have space to walk behind me,
Mhm.
and I looked up and I was like, huh, looks really familiar. So I literally I just turned my neck, sort of like an owl does, and I'm just looking. I'm looking, and he looks down at me because he's obviously very tall and very muscular. And as soon as he just passes by me, I say, "Hey, are you?" And of course, I didn't want to make it a big deal. I was like, "Hey, are you John Cena?" And he just nodded his head in approval, and he just kept walking. And I was like, "Wow, that was so cool." And it
What
was
was
just
this is recently, obviously. So you had to ask him if he's John Cena.
well,
John Cena is fairly recognizable. Like
well, he was wearing
I
glasses,
kept
like and he
I
was
kept
completely covered up.
I don't know, man. His neck, his everything else is very distinguished to John Cena. Like, unless you couldn't see him, that's the only thing I could
Oh,
think of,
oh,
bro.
get the
Like,
fuck
what?
out of here.
How do you not recognize John Cena? What is
No,
wrong with you?
I recognized him. Like I was like, but I was
You should
also
never,
like, because
you
he
should never
started.
share that story again. That was a
He
terrible
no,
story.
he started growing his hair out. So I'm like, okay, but now that could be anyone because John Cena had that very John Cena buzz cut
Yeah.
that he had for like 20 years in the WWE.
Mhm.
So I was like, huh, maybe that's not him. But then but it had the same like facial structure, and he was wearing glasses, so or sunglasses. So I was like, hey, are you John Cena? And he just nodded, and he kept walking, and then I looked at my friend dead in his eyes, and I was like, that's John Cena. And we both started like fangirling, and I was like, I really wanted to go up and be like, hey, I don't want to
Yeah.
like make it a big deal, but can I just get like a quick photo? And but I was like, nah, he's with this girl. He's like enjoying his time off in Vancouver. So I was like, you know what? I'll
His
leave
girl,
him.
his girl's from Vancouver too, right?
Yeah,
His
yeah.
local
So
girl.
he's dating
Yeah.
someone from Vancouver. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna,
These
leave
celebrities,
them
man,
be.
taking Vancouver women away. Like
I know.
you had little like chances already, and now Idris Elba married a local girl, and they have John Cena with one.
You know what's
Like
funny?
you're bad now. Your bad odds just got way worse.
I know. How am I gonna compete with John fucking Cena? But I
Or
also do
Idris
know.
Elba. Idris Elba is the most handsome man in the fucking world. Like,
He
come
is.
on.
He's very
Yeah, man.
handsome. I also know someone who's related to that. Well, because he married that girl from Vancouver. So now I also know someone who's related to Idris Elba, which is pretty cool. So if you ever see me just kicking it back with Luther, don't be surprised because I'm just such a big deal.
You know
But
what?
literally,
All that bad storytelling, the fact that you made a Luther reference, it's a you kind of sunk
what
me
you
in
didn't like
because
Luther?
Luther, no, you brought me in. Like Luther is a fantastic fucking series
Oh,
that no one
so
talks
good.
about. It actually needs to be
Yeah,
talked about more as a
yeah,
one all the all time great series. I know a lot of people know Idris Elba from The Wire as one of his first
yeah,
starting points, but the work he did in Luther, like it was fantastic.
yeah.
And he played that really well. It's just a shame that he's never gone to a role like that really again. He's
You
been in
don't
a
think
lot
so?
of no, because he's been in sort of these gimmicky sci-fi movies, or he's been in a couple movies. Not like he's never done inside of work again.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Idris Elba to me, he's more famous than the work he's put out. but
You
he's
know who I was
talented.
thinking about that with?
Because
George Clooney.
George
Like,
Clooney doesn't act. George Clooney does not act. He plays himself in every movie, and it works. It works for
right, but
him.
also like that's what
But
I'm
George
thinking.
Clooney,
Like, how many good movies has he had?
but George Clooney is different though. His stardom came from being a super handsome doctor on a long running medical drama series. And we
ER,
talked about
right?
this before. Yeah, ER. So it's like Jennifer Aniston now, right?
Yeah.
So Jennifer Aniston, like she was a very attractive woman on a very top of like charts sitcom, right?
Hmm.
So, but the only difference is George Clooney has had a successful career because he's been in some great movies, like some movies that people talk about, like Ides of March. He was great in. He's a sleazeball in that, but Ides of March is
Yeah,
great. The Ocean series again.
of
He's playing
course.
himself. He's fantastic. Um, Syriana, he was good in that one. That's
Which
actually one of
one?
my favorite. Syriana.
I don't know that one.
That's a really good one. Have you seen Michael Clayton?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Michael Clayton's fantastic. So there's work he's done. I was like, oh wow, it's fantastic. Whereas Jennifer Aniston, she's all right. Like I don't know. Like she was in one movie that I really liked, Office Space, but it wasn't because of her. Like they could put anyone else in that role, and I
Yeah.
would have been just
Did
as
you
happy.
not like just go with it with Adam Sandler? I thought that was, like it wasn't like it wasn't groundbreaking, but it wasn't shitty either. It was just
When we
fun to
started this
watch.
pod, I'm pretty confident you've mentioned that movie a few times now, and you
Once during that
no
bad
no
movie draft.
sure,
Once.
but you still this is still a couple times. It's still a couple times more than I expected that movie to show up in our podcast. I did not think it'll come up that
Uh,
many times. We're completely gone off track on everything. What was
that's
happening?
true. That's very true.
But I'm my sister. Speaking of meeting famous celebrities, my
Yeah.
sister and wrestlers. My sister met The Rock once.
Nice.
Yeah, when
That's
you
the
saw me
coolest thing.
when you saw me skyscraper here,
Yeah.
uh, he was filming it at City Hall, Surrey,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
filming at night, and like not like where your situation was, like you walk beside him, like, oh hey, you're John Cena. It's like a group of fans like were there, like
Oh,
probably
okay.
10 of them, something like the
Yeah.
employees, and they were like able to meet The Rock, and I believe my sister gone to like a video selfie that they took or something like that. So it's
Cool.
pretty neat. And I never really met a celebrity myself. Like I met a couple pro athletes, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But the most famous celebrity that I've been in the same, I guess, distance with,
Yeah.
like Al Pacino was like 10 feet away from me at one point. He's from yeah. So this is way back in the day where I used to work security guard, like forever ago,
Yeah.
and he did a really bad movie. He filmed it at UBC, and I was security on the set, and he filmed. It's called 88 Minutes. I can't remember the other actor's name. He was in
Mhm.
Gotham, and he was also in um the OC,
Oh,
like the badass that guy. What's the actor's name?
yeah.
I'm blanking.
Hold on.
He played Commissioner Gordon
Uh,
on Gotham, and
yeah.
but
Ben McKenzie.
there you go. So those
Yeah.
two. So yeah, I did film 88 minutes, and that's when I met. Like I never met him. Like I wish I did,
Mhm.
but I saw Al Pacino, and the first thought I saw, I'm like, man, this motherfucker is short.
Is he
like
short? Really?
he's so short. It's like five maybe, man. Like he is so short.
I'm taller than Al Pacino.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly look this up. But like Al Pacino, it can't be tall.
That's fair. I mean, it's just so cool to think that I could tower over Miguel Corleone, which is so sick. No, that's so cool.
Yeah,
I
five. Yeah,
wish I've met.
5'6". He's 1.7 meters. I don't know why Google does it that way, but he's 5'5", 5'6", around there.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
man.
So you
Yeah,
tower over him.
a lot of
You're a
celebrities
tall
are tall,
boy.
short. Arnold's a short guy. Who else? Tom
Huh.
Cruise is a very short person.
Yeah,
That's why if
Tom
you
Cruise
watch
is
a movie,
famously short.
that's why you watch their movies. Like they're never filmed straight on. They're all filmed at an angle to make them look at even height or taller, like larger than life. If you look at the movies, watch back and find
Yeah,
these heights, you
yeah.
look at the way they're filmed, it's never head on. If it's head on, it's from a distance.
Huh. I never noticed
Yeah.
that.
But
Hmm.
this is more of an off the air conversation, but we had it. It's out of the way. It's there now. It's in the podcast world. It's in the YouTube
Yeah.
world. It is what it is, guys. If you're still around, I really appreciate it. If we want to continue to listen to us, our Emmy stuff is about to come up. But a quick reminder, we are always on Instagram and Twitter at the Deep Focus Pod. We are on all audio platforms. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. If you like, please know, subscribe, give us a comment, give us a review, good or bad. We need to know if what we're doing is working or not working. So any sort of feedback will be fantastic. You can always subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Deep Focus Podcast. I had 36 subscribers now, so we've gone one up since
Yeah.
the last week or so. So we're slowly moving on up. So thank you for everybody for supporting us and engaging in our comments and likes, dislikes, or anything like that at all. So we do really appreciate that, but we know we're not perfect. Please, again, provide us the feedback, or you could email us at a deepfocuspodcast@gmail.com. But like I said, we're here to talk about the Emmy nominations. And it was a wild one. Wild one because one, I kind of forgot about the Emmy nominations with the pandemic happening and like just
Yeah.
it's been a few months since the Golden Globes and the Oscars, the Academy Awards. It's like, oh yeah, and with Con happening now too, right? Like because a lot of things are happening right now in the
And
film
Emmys
industry.
never happens during it doesn't happen during award season, right? So it's
No, it doesn't. It's all separate. So it's the timing's all odd. I can't remember what previous timelines it was before, but this year we have the Emmys coming in September. So CBS will be hosting the Emmys again. It will be available on September 19th, hosted by the great king of comedy, Cedric the Entertainer. I'm sure he'll be a fantastic one. It will be a limited seating one, like the Golden Globes were. So there will be a lot of people still doing like recording from home, minimum like a controlled capacity in the arena. A lot of surprises, a lot of not I don't see a lot of head scratchers, but just some interesting stuff that came out from a nomination. So, Morale, my first question from you, I will treat this like a bit of like a movie review. What was your
yeah.
first thoughts walking away from the Emmy nominations?
I'm thinking, man, fuck Emily in Paris. Like for real. It's not a good show. It's not, it's
I still haven't
problematic.
seen it. Like I have no interest in seeing it. Yeah.
Honestly, I
So
watched one
tell the viewers a
episode.
little bit. Give the review the viewers and the listeners a little reminder of the drama behind, like a quick 2 minute thing about the drama behind it,
Yeah.
and another minute about describing the show to us.
So, so Emily in Paris stars, of course, Lily Collins. Again, nothing against Lily Collins or the rest of the stars of the show. However, she's a marketer, right? She went from the States to Paris to like give an American perspective on whatever ad campaigns and shit. The reason why it's problematic is because they're really making the people of France look stupid. They're making the people of France seem incompetent, and they're hyping up the American ego with the show. From I watched one episode and I couldn't continue, and then I started reading like, you know, because people had done like papers on this, not like academic papers. People had written like blog posts and stuff and video essays. So I was like, from the clips that I was watching, it really seemed like the French people were stupid, and here comes Lily Collins to like make the people of France be more Americanized and just quote unquote better. And that's why I found the show really problematic. And I know a lot of people really like the show. And if I hadn't known all of this stuff, I feel like I would enjoy the show if I was just looking at it from a complete viewer perspective. But the controversy lies when the Golden Globes started coming out and those nominations started coming out, because they had the journalists from the HFPA fly out to the set. They wined and dined them, and they put them in like the best hotels, gave them the best food. So obviously they were then nominated because favoritism is very prevalent in Hollywood. However, I was thinking that was going to drop, like when the Golden Globes were no longer, in talks, or like they weren't in the media stratosphere. But I was shocked to see that that the show was still nominated at the Emmys as well, because the Emmys is, to me, it's certainly more reliable. as a source of like, hey, this is, good or bad. But I was surprised to see it there. So that was my first thought. Is I hope this show doesn't continue to get. I mean, that's fine. I'm sure it's fine for it to get nominated, but it's just such a smug, smarmy show, you know. But yeah, that's my take. I feel like I've talked about it now for like 3 years. But yeah, that was my
It
initial
didn't get
reaction.
it didn't get any nominations, did it? For the
It
Emmys?
did.
Did
It
I
did.
miss that? Well, for what again? Can
Emily
you
in
please
Paris,
remind me?
yeah,
Because I
because
probably missed that part.
yeah. Hold
Well,
on.
or like this, that what they get nominated for?
Outstanding comedy series.
This, from what you're describing to me, does not sound like a comedy series.
I don't
It
know.
sounds
It's
terrible.
it's a comedy series in the same way that like I don't know. I have no idea. It's not really. I don't know. I guess it fits that comedy series because it's like 30 minutes is a quick watch and there's some jokes in it here and there. And there's one character
Mhm.
whose job it is just to make sexual jokes on the show. Like her character doesn't have a lot of depth. And it's really weird. Her name is Ashley Park. She plays a character named Mindy Chen. And there's
Okay.
also a lot of Asian stereotypes in there as well.
Okay.
Right. So it's just it's so problematic. Whatever.
I can't believe it.
I'm done
That
talking
sounds
about this
terrible.
stupid show.
Okay, so that's your first reaction. Before I give my first reaction, I want to give one shout out to MJ Rodriguez. She was the first ever trans woman to be nominated for an Emmy. So I think that's a fantastic accomplishment and it's a
That's
great
huge.
step in the right direction as always.
Mhm.
She was in the series Pose. I haven't seen it myself. But they did snag up a lot of nominations. And of course, with all these shows being announced, we do have about 2 months to sort of binge some of these shows if you haven't watched them already to prepare for the actual award show. So we could give a little more in depth of predictions and that sort of stuff. But there's two things that popped out of my head walking away when I watched the announcements come through and everything that come through. Uh, is that one streaming service is dominating again,
Mhm.
like by a
Huge.
mile. So if you had to guess,
Mhm.
of all the streaming services that we
Mhm.
have available, how many nominations do you think they got? Like total nominations. So
I want to say,
to
yeah.
give you
I
an
mean,
idea, like WandaVision got 23, Mandalorian
yeah.
got 24. So
Holy shit! Yeah, those are both streaming services. Holy shit! Yeah, I want to say like
yeah,
80 then.
80, 235 has gone to streaming
Holy
services.
shit!
Yeah. So the streaming services definitely dominated the award season again, as always, and they
Mhm.
continue to dominate. And this has
Mhm.
nothing to do with the pandemic, right? These shows would come out on their respective services, regardless of what the situation is in the world, because everything we are about to watch and every show we talk about, it's available to watch at home, whether it's a
Mhm.
and they're not free channels, right? Like they are subscriptions you do pay for on a monthly basis. So
Mhm.
HBO led everybody when it comes to award nominations. We're not going to count them as a streaming service because I feel like HBO.
It's
I know
more
they
of a
have HBO
channel,
Max,
but
but
yeah.
it is more of a service provider channel. But we have Apple TV Plus, a big jump for them with its 35 nominations. Of course, led by Ted Lasso, who is in a lot of the comedian series. We have Disney Plus with
Yeah.
71, which is fantastic, of course. So 71 led by Mandalorian with 24 nominations themselves and WandaVision with
WandaVision.
23. So big thing there. A lot of them, not just visual stuff too, like the acting, the story, everything. Like they're in a lot
Mhm.
of different categories
Mhm.
where superhero shows are usually not. A special shout out to The Boys, who were also nominated for one of the best drama shows, which is another fantastic show. And Netflix ran away with everybody with 129 nominations.
Holy
So
shit!
yeah, I led by The Crown with 24. That was the one thing that stuck to me right away. And I do believe this is the going trend going forward because streaming services, one, you can binge everything right away. Because for a lot of these shows, outside of the Disney Plus series that come out every week, The Crown
Mhm.
and all these other original series from Netflix will come out all at once, and you can binge them right away. And another thing that stuck out to me this year was the awkwardness from HBO. So I would like some answers from HBO, no home box office. Please tell me what's going on. Lovecraft Country.
Oh yeah, dude.
They were not renewed for season two. I understand it's a limited series, but y'all had limited series before that you extended to second season, and I'm gonna blank right now on top of my head. There was that one series that ended up being two seasons with Reese Witherspoon, the murder one.
Big Little
Big, Li-
Lies.
Big Little Lies. That was supposed to be a limited series, turned to two seasons. Lovecraft Country got 18 nominations. 18 nominations.
No, the show
Led by,
was really good.
led by the very talented Jonathan Majors. I actually haven't seen the show to the fullest myself. I was able to watch a couple episodes. It is fantastic, but so I'm very shocked that it's not coming back. It's not. I know it's easy to say it's in hindsight. Like, hey, this the announcement of the Emmys came out like 2 weeks after the show was told it was canceled, or 3 weeks before. You know, the networks submit these shows in for award seasons, right? So
For
they
considerations, yeah.
knew, yeah, they knew to be considered. And two, like people are watching it, people were talking about it. So I'm very shocked that it didn't continue, at least for season two, especially
Hmm.
from. And I didn't watch the series, so I don't have an idea what happened at the end. But everyone who has watched it has told me that it ended in a cliffhanger,
Hmm.
and so to open up for an idea for season two. So Lovecraft Country is based on a book, and apparently there is a second book that can continue the series. Days chose not to continue with it. So I'm wondering
I,
what's going to happen next with that. But
yeah.
unless you know more about it, Murad.
I don't. I actually didn't know it was also adapted. I thought it was. I didn't know it was a book.
Yeah.
So if there's already a book there, if the source and we were talking about this before, how easy it is to adapt versus original,
Mm-hmm.
but if the source material is there, the characters and stories are already written out. All you have to do is present it in a nuanced way where people who read the book are still interested because they don't know what happens, right? But if HB, do you know if the second book is written or is it not written yet, or is it in the works? Because if it's not,
So I'm looking right now. So I am looking on the website popsugar.com. It says that season one was based on Matt Ruff's book, and creator Samisha Green was already planning on. So the book and everything was already planned for season two, and I envision a second season that carries. I envision a second season that carries on the spirit of Matt Ruff's novel by continuing to reclaim the genre. So it doesn't look like it was written already. It was in the works to finish it.
mm, so then
So
I
maybe
could maybe give them like a pass if they wanted to. Like maybe they'll
they
bring
don't.
it,
Maybe they want another
like
Game of
because
Thrones.
yeah, and because they know what happened with Game of Thrones, they understand the backlash,
But
and
complete
I
different
mean,
writers, complete different writers. You know what I mean? Like it's completely different from everything. So it's
yeah,
kind of on.
it's
If
still the
that's the
same
case, it's
showrunner, not
hmm?
showrunner, network runner,
Yeah, but
right?
still, they're not the ones who are creating it. They're a completely different story.
But they have
Like
so
the
much
network just provides
say,
the money. Oh yeah,
you
but I don't
know.
know. It's just I'm still like I think HBO's the loser here for losing a show like
Oh,
this.
absolutely,
Right?
100%.
This is the biggest L for network since Fox gave up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like that was the
Yeah.
biggest mistake they ever made, and did not put them on
Hmm.
NBC, which is the comedy gold of network television. And like the TV, like superhero shows, like dominated again, like Marvel, DC,
Nuts,
graphic novel
insane.
adaptations, like they just dominated.
Hmm.
So, but for me, as always, the first thing on top of the list of everything is the streaming services. They completely crushed it with that again, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So, my question for you is that do you feel like is this going to continue to get bigger for streaming services, and are we going to see less and less outside of the dominance like the HBOs? Are we going
Yeah.
to see less and less of that? You think, or what's going on?
I I think TV was strictly meant for streaming service. TV works
Mm,
best with a streaming service. Whereas movies, they do too, but it seemed like, I mean, from before they were called streaming service, before it was just video on demand, right? And if you had the channel, you can just go back and watch whatever episode. It was like that with Shaw. I'm not sure what it was like with anything else, but like
yep.
if
Yeah,
let's say
it's
if
still
you
around.
subscribe, if you pay for Fox, then you can go back and watch different seasons of Family Guy if it was on video on demand for free.
Hmm.
right? So TV to me was already structured in a way it would work fantastic with a streaming service. So this isn't a big shock to me. The amount is, but also every network is turning into a streaming service, right? From fucking like Paramount to like NBC has Peacock. So like I don't think I think I think it's blending into one. Every studio is blending itself into a streaming service. Whether they started off as a streaming service originally, like Netflix, like Amazon Prime, to turning into a streaming service like HBO or Peacock or I forgot what CBS is. CBS All Access, I think,
Yeah,
right?
he was all access. Yeah, Paramount Plus, like all the other
Yeah.
streaming services coming out. Yeah,
So I TV lended itself perfectly for streaming service because you want to watch, you want to binge watch TV shows. You can't binge watch movies, at least to the same way. Because like, a lot of people, including myself, I don't want to wait for new episodes per week. I'd rather just watch that whole thing. So TV was made for binge watching, and binge watching is what led to streaming services. So it goes hand in hand to me, and I think it's 100% going to be the trend because no one wants to like wait until 7 o'clock to watch an episode of the fucking Big Bang Theory, right? You just want to watch it whenever you want.
yeah, no, that's exactly it. I don't think like network television will ever go away as long as you have sports, as long as you have game shows and that sort
Yeah,
of stuff and news. Like that will always stay around. So I know like network channels will not, no, will never completely go away. It's because this, advertisement money. Like that's really at the end of the day, like that's where it comes from. Right, that's what make them
yeah,
their bread and butter is put these ads out and make the money off from it. But I know it's just interesting how like it is continue to dominate again. My hope for it, and this is very hopeful, is that to make deals like Sony did with Netflix and things like that, where hey, let's put our shows on your streaming service after we aired on our network.
yeah.
So like right now, like Sony had made that deal with Netflix a few months ago, where anytime a movie has come out, they'll put it straight on their Netflix series after they played in theaters and after the video on demand is gone,
Yeah.
and once it's free to stream or it's no longer an option to rent it on iTunes or on demand,
Hmm.
they'll go to your streaming service.
Yeah.
I am hoping like they can go to NBC, Netflix goes to NBC and like, hey, fuck Peacock, let's after the season airs on your show, you have the first rights as always. After the season's over, a month later, you put it on our streaming service.
I think that's going to give. I think that's going to create a huge monopoly, and Netflix already controls a lot of it.
But
That's you know what I mean? Like,
as a consumer though, wouldn't like and you asking you too, wouldn't you prefer that being a one login type of thing instead of
yeah, but
going
also think
everywhere
about it.
for it?
If they hold all of the if they hold everything, then they can charge you whatever they want because there's no other alternative,
But
right?
I'm just
And
using Netflix as an
that's
example. It doesn't be Netflix. It could be any other network.
oh,
It could be like
but
a
any other
H.
but if, let's say if you give me the rights, which is why I forgot what event it was, but they were talking about moving it from a one network to another. Um, for the life of me, I can't remember. But let's say if you give me the ability to buy all the gas stations, and for me to run Shell, Chevron, Petro, whatever, I can charge whatever price I want, right? And that's the problem with it, right? There's no competition breeds success for the people on an executive level.
Is there a problem with it? Because you still have video on demand at home. You still have DVR to
Yeah,
PVR to record these series with no expiry date, right? So it's not
yeah.
like you have to go there.
Yeah, no, you
No
don't have
option.
to. But
You still
what are you
you
gonna
don't
fill
have
your
to
DVR with like 100 shows?
we don't have to go Disney Plus right now. They have three of the most nominated shows in the country,
Hmm.
right? They're still charging us like $10 a month Canadian or $90 a year for Canadian. I'm sure it's
Hmm.
gonna go up in price, but like really,
Yeah,
it'll go up to $15, $20, let's say per month. Let's say
yeah,
$20 to go up
but also think
Netflix.
about if or let's say like Disney, whatever streaming service has Netflix originals, Disney Plus originals, HBO originals, HBO their back catalog, NBC's back catalog. If they have everything, they control the rights. They can charge you whatever because they know people will
They're
watch.
not controlling it though. So what I'm saying is that the network still controls the rights of their shows, but after the series is done,
Mhm.
and who buys boxes of DVDs anymore?
This fucking guy right here.
then you're a dumbass because it's available literally everywhere digitally, and clearly you're not married, so you're not worried about how much space you have
Yo,
because you
what?
no,
Last
but that's what I
last
mean.
week it was I go to bed alone, and now you just come on.
I just drop facts. That's all it is. But like you know what I mean? Like it's not like I'm like no one buys
Yeah.
DVDs anymore. This is why all these DVD shops are shutting down, and you buy these DVDs for cheap because all these great series it's one click away, whether it's from your tablet, whether it's from your
Mhm.
device or your TV. They're all like one or two clicks away, but they're there after it's streamed. So, like for example, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it will come onto
Mhm.
Netflix right before the next season Brooklyn Nine-Nine comes out.
Yeah.
Right, as
Again,
it happens
perfect for
every year.
binging. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's great from binging. So, like, I do think that is the way to go because it's not creating a monopoly because every network and streaming service, like streaming service, still has to wait a year or X amount of
Mhm.
months whenever you want to release it. Don't release it like how Riverdale is doing it right now, where Riverdale is going to release the episode on CW and then like that same night or next morning it goes on Netflix. It's not like that at
Mhm.
all. Where to get it right away?
Mhm.
That's CW is trying to get their content out because they want
I
as far as possible. But whereas like what I'm saying, going back to you just go back to NBC
Brooklyn
an
Nine-Nine.
example again, right?
Yeah.
It's like hey, like here's a like that's exactly what NBC is doing in Canada, right? It's not like an exclusive right, but they released the
Yeah.
entire season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and
Mhm.
then right before the next season comes out, like it'll be different this year because this is the last year of Brooklyn Nine-Nine that's coming up.
That's
But
right.
right before the next season Brooklyn Nine-Nine comes out, they released the previous season
Mhm.
like a month before the premiere of the new season.
Mhm.
So right,
Yeah.
so it gains excitement for the series. Oh, hey, this Brooklyn Nine-Nine show is really good. This new season coming out. Do I want to wait? Maybe not. Let's watch it on NBC right now. Let's PVR. Let's go through the ads and things like that. I think it's the best of both worlds.
Interesting. I do like the way that BBC is doing it with Peaky Blinders, right? Like, because
Yeah,
Peaky Blinders is a BBC
that's another
original.
great example because you
Yeah.
don't get BBC. It's like a known channel in North
Mhm.
America, right? Like for like Luther's on BBC, Sherlock has been on BBC. Like seen all these
Peaky
great,
Blinders on BBC.
yeah, this great
Yeah.
series on from BBC hit Netflix,
Yeah.
right? So that's how I didn't know what BBC was before I watched Sherlock Holmes with Benedict Cumberbatch. Like I don't
What?
know,
Okay, fair
yeah,
enough.
because that's how I watched Sherlock Holmes when it first came out. When was it? Like
Sherlock, I think
released.
it was like oh nine.
Yeah. Right. So that's a long time ago. I didn't watch anything from the BBC network. Right. Only British show I knew of on my last 10 years has been Big Brother.
Mhm.
As my exposure to British television and Celebrity Big Brother, where it
Was Big
originated
Brother
from.
UK first?
Yeah, it's originated from that.
Okay, I don't know that.
Fun fact, you can
Nice.
gamble on the UK Big Brother.
Like who gets eliminated? Oh, like whatever.
Yeah,
Anything.
I get back, I got HOH, all that
That's
fun
tight.
stuff. It's good times.
That's tight.
But yeah, so that's what I think. Like, see, the BBC is a perfect example for a
Mhm.
smaller company or a smaller company in a foreign country to dominate like that,
Mhm.
right? Where NBC is more globally known, CBC, CBS is more globally known, but like CBC, for
Mhm.
example, a Canadian television, so Kim's Convenience is another sitcom that comes on CBC. It's a Canadian show. It's a fantastic show. If you haven't
Really
watched
good.
Kim's,
Yeah.
amazing show. Again, unfortunately, it's coming to an end, but they'll release a new season on CBC and put on Netflix right away. And then if you really want to watch a new season, you watch it on CBC when it comes out. And I think that should be the next step for streaming services. I'm not a business person. I don't know how the back end works. I don't know anything about the finances or anything or how it affects the ads or whatever. I'm talking from the consumer point of view,
Mhm.
right? And that's my take. Like I think that's what like I know we're completely gone away from the Emmys, but when it comes to the
Yeah.
streaming services, that's what I believe should happen.
Yeah. No, I get. No, I understand. I agree to a certain extent, but yeah, no. But the Emmys. Let's talk about the Emmys.
Well, I think we should take a quick break first, and then we'll
Yeah.
come back and talk about some of the nominations.
Let's do it.
If you guys are still around, thanks for returning to the episode. I think Murad and I finally, I would say we cooled down because I don't think we got pretty heated, but it's never bad to have a conversation. This is why we have this platform because these are the conversations we would have off the air regardless. So to have this on the air, I'm
Mm.
kind of curious what your guys' thoughts are. But the latter half of the episode, we're going to talk about some of our nominations. There are so many different categories. We're not going to go through every single one of them. If you want to check out the larger list of the categories, again, check us out on Instagram at the Deep Focus Pod. Murad created those amazing, great looking slides. So please check
Thank
them
you.
out. I thought it was very clean. Murad does some good work once in a while, and I want to make sure he's aware that I do see it. Right?
Uh,
I want you to know that I do give you compliments only when you deserve it. So you know that you don't deserve it a whole lot. But
God damn. You're just like my
before we
dad.
go before we go into some of the predictions or some of the nominations, what was your biggest surprise from the Emmy nominations? If you had to pick one thing.
Yeah. If I had to pick one thing, that's a tough one. I haven't seen Mayor of Easttown yet. Easttown, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen it. Apparently it's really good. But I
It's
didn't
supposed to
think
be
it would.
it's supposed to be amazing. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be incredible.
HBO just keeps doing murder mysteries, huh? First they did Big Little Lies and now this. Isn't
That's the
right?
trend though, man. That's the trend.
Yeah.
People love that shit.
Yeah.
I
No,
honestly I haven't met a woman who doesn't love a good murder mystery.
that's fair. You haven't met a yeah, that's fair. So I'm assuming Ruby
Right?
loves
Like
this shit.
it's oh man, she eats that shit up.
Fair
Documentaries,
enough.
miniseries, anything, especially based on real life, and especially and conspiracy theories. She's all in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I was shocked by that only because it's still a fairly new show, to me because I'd only heard about it I think like a month and a half ago, and now it's like everywhere. So that was a shocker for me in a good way because I haven't seen it, but I'm certainly intrigued. You know. So what surprised you? Because I don't think that there was anything too surprising.
Well, these are still nominations, so I don't think there's any snubs or anything like that at all. It's because all these categories are pretty large. But
Mhm.
our boy Don Cheadle.
Oh yeah.
So Don Cheadle was nominated for his work for guess what, guys? A Winter Soldier and the Falcon. Or was it Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Sorry, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you guys forget he was in it? Kind of Murad did when I asked him before he jumped on the air. If you forgot he was in it for a total, and thank you for people.com for giving me the stat. He was in the series for 98 seconds. So in that 98 seconds, he was nominated for best guest actor, or I guess appearance in
I
a
guess.
drama.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I I just
Well,
yeah,
when you told
it's just
me,
funny.
when you told me, I
Yeah.
was thinking like, no, he wasn't in it. Like I thought because you said, oh, you know what Don Cheadle was nominated for, and I was like, probably his show. Like he created like it's his show Black Monday on Showtime.
Black Monday,
So
which is
thinking,
great, but nope.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's for that because that's a proper TV show and maybe like best actor or whatever. But yeah, he was just like, no, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it took me a good 4 minutes, and I still didn't even think of
Mhm.
like what the hell did he do in that show? I still
So
don't know what
Don
he did. I
Cheadle,
forgot.
he was in the first episode. So he
Okay,
was in the first episode again for 98 seconds. So 9 digits, 98 seconds. And sorry, I'm gonna correct myself from the beginning. The award is called Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series.
Hmm.
So yeah, he was in the he was in the first episode. I believe it's where he was talking to Falcon about like the shield, and I think I swear to give the shield to the
Oh,
new quote unquote Captain America. So I believe it was that scene. I'm award season. But it is that's what he got to. That's my biggest surprise.
all right.
90, like that's the biggest heat check. He came in. No, Don Cheadle had a nice little tweet for everybody. I'm not gonna say the full thing, but like he said, thanks well wishers and sorry to the haters. So and he did say, I don't get it either. So even he's surprised.
Yeah,
So
98, and also how broad of a
yeah, man,
fucking category
a
is
win's a
that?
win. Yeah, I don't know who else is in that. I really don't. Let's find out. Actually
But like it's
curious
also
who else is in that.
like why John Travolta's in it, I know. One I know that he's in it, but also like why would you have such a
No,
broad fucking
not for
category?
not for outstanding guest actor in drama series. So we have Carl Weathers for Mandalorian, who played more of an impact than mentioned then Don Cheadle.
True.
We have
True.
Timothy Oliphant.
Elephant. Yeah, yeah.
I can't even
Elephant.
pronounce his name. Oliphant, yeah, in The Mandalorian. You have Charles Dance in The Crown, Courtney B. Vance in Lovecraft Country. So we have people who have done a lot more in their series, but again, Don Cheadle with the heat check. He just came in off the
Crazy, eh?
bench, played a minute. He played 2 minutes, dropped like three threes and got a couple assists and a rebound, and that's it. Like he's golden for any of those basketball fans out there. But yeah,
Made
to
all
me,
the
that's the
difference.
biggest surprise.
Yeah.
There you go. But now to some of the predictions that we have. So we're gonna go through again. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go through every single one of them because there's quite a bit of them.
There's a lot.
So I picked personally three series, so three categories that I want to go through. Again, these are predictions, not who we predictions on who we think will win, not who we think deserves to win. So if Murad, if you want to mention who you think deserves to win, feel free to do so. It's because who I think should win, to me, it aligns with
With
who
who you-
should win, except for one. The categories. Just the first category is outstanding variety in a talk series. So who do you think is gonna win that?
who do I think will win it?
Yeah, well, who you want was Conan, so I'm not going to ask you who you want to win it. So who do you think is going to win?
I know, yeah, 100%. Like I want Conan to win. Who do I think will win it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know. I think Conan would. I think Conan will win it because he's also ended his show. So maybe just.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like a consolation, but also like it's like a nice crowning achievement. But I'm also thinking it could be like John Oliver.
I'd be pretty shocked if John Oliver doesn't win. Not
Yeah.
because I think he's the best person there, but like I haven't seen the odds for the Emmy nominations yet, but it's a pretty clear cut winner. That yeah, he has been a clear cut winner for the last few years for award
Hmm.
shows. Who I think
Hmm.
deserves to win is anyone who does a talk show. Mainly because and I love John Oliver, and I think everyone who is nominated for this category. So I'm gonna quickly mention the nominations. You have Jimmy Kimmel Live, we
Hmm.
have the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, we have Conan,
Hmm.
the late show with Stephen Colbert, and we have Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. So Last Week Tonight with John Oliver is I think is the clear cut winner again, but I would be happy if any other four wins this, mainly because, like I said, they do a show as 5 nights a week, especially in the last year in the pandemic and doing all the remote work and everything. And John Oliver did remote work also, but to continue to bring out great content during that time. I would love for Stephen Colbert to win. I think he's always done a fantastic job. But I wouldn't be upset with any of these winners. This is the one category where if anybody wins, I would be quite happy with it. So that's the one. That's for me for that category. Uh,
He's he's
who do you?
won since 2016 every year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know he has. Yeah,
Crazy.
that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be John Oliver. He's been dominating.
Wow.
So that's why as I'm hoping where that we're in a place where another late night show wins the
Yeah.
award. But
Yeah.
again, like I think it's be pretty clear cut. It's gonna be John Oliver,
Mhm.
but I'll be hopeful. I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be upset with anybody who wins. I'm just hoping for a winner in this one.
Yeah.
Next category, free prediction would be outstanding comedy series. And I feel like we're gonna be in the same boat here, but who do you think is gonna win that one?
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I don't think there's
Yeah.
a. I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if
Yeah.
they don't win. I'll be very surprised if they don't win.
I would.
I'm surprised Cobra
I.
Kai was nominated for
Yeah.
best comedy series. That should be in the drama category. There are some other shows I haven't watched on here yet. The Flight Ended is a show I will be watching next week when the Emmy Finals is over because
Nice.
that show's been top of my list the entire time. I heard amazing things about it. Sounds like it's more dark comedy. Blackish, I've always watched. It's on Disney Plus for now. Cobra Kai, I fucking love that show. It's a great fucking show. It's not a comedy whatsoever. Like a kid gets paralyzed in this show.
Shit.
It's nothing funny about that. Right?
A kid
They
gets
show
paralyzed.
bullying
Bring
and
on the
gang
jokes.
violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's gang violence. I don't remember. I actually thought this. I saw this character. I'm like, I don't remember laughing at all during the show at all. So I'm a little surprised by that. But yeah, so Ted Lasso, I think is a clear cut winner over anyone else. If I would be shocked if anybody else won, like absolutely shocked if anybody else won. Maybe Blackish might be a nice little runner up, but with the hype Ted Lasso's getting, and with season 2 right now getting such high reviews, even though it has nothing to do with this award show, I think it'll continue to do the trend is on right now.
If Emily in Paris wins, I'm quitting this podcast. I'm quitting. I'm quitting my job, and I'm moving to a remote location. That would suck. That would
Well,
absolutely suck. And you
you
know
need to
what's
keep it. You need to keep a job because you got to pay the bills and all this sort of
no?
fun
I'll move
stuff.
to a remote
Yeah.
location and just live off the land. You know, just eat berries and like be friends with bears and shit. But then that's the thing. Like,
What bears best?
ah,
Sorry, I had to throw it off.
there's no way to
You
answer
know,
that, Jim.
well, it's
uh,
just two. No, man. The proper line response is there's two school of thoughts in this one.
oh, that's right.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
Oh my god. Oh, that's a good joke. That's a fucking brilliant joke. That identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's so
god.
good. It's so
Oh,
good.
and the one with to talk about the weed. Oh, I also
Uh,
think. Sorry, go on.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the best part about The Office for me was Creed, and that's all I'll say about that.
Creed Brand's the best because we don't know
He's
who the
so
real
funny.
Creed Brand is. We don't know who the real person
I
is.
know, and
Because
he wrote
he
himself the
murdered
best jokes.
he murdered the real Creed.
Yes.
So we had to figure out. And Creed, that's his real name, right? Like I know his real name is Creed.
Yeah. He wrote
Yeah, his name
for
is
the show.
He's his real name is Creed Bratton, and he's a
Oh,
musician.
for
He
him.
goes on, yeah, he goes on tours and everything. He can go put on concerts in the U.S. and all this sort of stuff, dude. Absolutely,
Awesome. That's
yeah,
so
man.
sick.
And my
I,
favorite person in the office though is Mose. I love Mose because the guy's a genius in real life, an absolute genius in real life. If you don't know anything about
Mose.
Mose in real life, he was Dwight's cousin. Mose in real
Oh,
life is one of the creators and producers of The Office. He is one of the creators and producers of Parks and Rec. He's done some of the greatest comedies of all time. So he is the biggest talent in Hollywood that no one talks about. But
what?
back to the Emmy nominations. Do a little
Huh.
homework. We could talk about next week's episode.
Crazy. Yeah.
So outstanding drama series. So the
Hmm.
categories: The Boys, Bridgerton.
Hmm.
I could say with confidence, neither of us is going to pick that one. The Crown, The Handmaid's Tale, The Handmaid's Tale,
Needs tail. Yeah.
Lovecraft Country, Mandalorian, and Pose. So
Wait,
Pose,
what's your beef against Bridgerton, bro?
have you seen Bridgerton? It's softcore porn. I'm not.
That's what I've heard. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
It's a softcore porn. It's a Shondaverse, bro. Like it's another Shonda. You know what I mean? Like it's
Is
another.
this Shonda Rhimes? I don't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is a bunch of dudes and women, and people hooking up, and yeah, that's all it is.
In corsets, because it's France
Sure,
and they're
it's
fancy.
it's softcore porn. That's all it is. Netflix has found a new type of series to show out there, and it's getting close to
It's
adult
got dick and
films.
balls.
Yeah, it's getting close to adult films. But I want the boys to win so bad because the boys is fantastic. It's not
Mhm.
going to win. I think the top two shows in this category will be between The Crown and Mandalorian, with The Crown winning by a mile. So I
Yeah.
think Crown's gonna win. I'd be surprised if I'd be shocked if Crown doesn't win.
Yeah, no, same. The Crown seems, and it's been a show that's talked about. It's also, I also think when a show's ending, it's like people just start looking at it with rose tinted glasses, and they're like, yeah, no, that should deserve to win. So yeah, no, I would want the Mandalorian to win just because of how fantastic that show actually is and all of the work that they did for the Star Wars franchise. But yeah, no, I think the Crown will take it by a mile, and I don't think there's any real competition in there. And I
How
haven't
many
seen The Boys, but I've heard it's fantastic.
season 4 is on Netflix right now, or season 5 on Netflix now for The Crown? Because
The
season 5 is
Crown?
supposed to be the last season, I thought.
Yeah, so you know it's coming to an end.
Yeah, okay. So the final season is coming out.
now. Yeah.
Okay, so final season is about to come out. Yeah, so I could see that, but I could see it happening also after the last season ends. But they'll win.
Yeah.
Like they'll win. Like it'll be like a whole like Friday Night Lights thing where Friday Night Lights is always nominated for best drama, but it didn't get a win until after the show was over.
Mhm.
A great show. But if you haven't watched The Boys, it is fantastic. I said it many times before. It's what I always wanted the Titans series from DC. That's what I wanted to be. Is like the balance of comedy, like dark humor and action and gory and everything. It is
Mhm.
fantastic. It's my favorite piece of it's my favorite piece of television right now. Like I absolutely love it. It's one of the
Okay.
shows where it comes out every week. I watch it right away. I have to watch it right away. They usually release a couple episodes at a time, so it's more than just one episode. If you're okay handling with a lot of blood, guts, and glory, and a lot of abusive stuff too, like it's very adult content, like 90 for young, 90 for teenage. I would not recommend
Yeah.
it. It is straight up for adults because it gets into a lot of dark. So I do recommend just be careful of the viewers that's with you while watching
Okay.
it.
Fair enough.
But for the adults out there, I do recommend watching this if you're into it whatsoever, and it's fantastic
Okay.
and it's
No,
funny. It's
it's
funny.
on
Carl
Amazon, yeah?
Urban, yeah, Amazon Prime. So it was Amazon Prime original. It is Carl Urban in that is fantastic. I can't remember the name of the actor who's the main actor in that one. If I look it up right now,
Isn't it Carl Urban?
no, Carl Urban is one of the other heroes. I'm trying to figure out the main villain because he's
I
done some
don't
other
know
shows
any of these
before
other
too.
actors for the show. Or Chase Crawford, I guess. And Karen Fukuhara.
As you guys can tell, we came so
Huh.
prepared
Okay. No,
for the series. Anthony Starr, Homelander. So Anthony Starr,
Mm.
who's a Homelander, has it's amazing. Like he is my favorite villain, like on TV. He is fantastic. He is fucked. he is so messed up.
He gets fucked?
No, he's
Oh,
fucked. Like
like
he
fucked
is.
up.
He's
Oh, I
wild.
got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
He is originally from New Zealand, but like he
Yeah.
plays sort of this like evil Superman. I guess I could
I
say.
could see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he
From
plays
the
sort of the evil,
photos.
like blue, like the Superman type person. He was most famous for Banshee. If you haven't seen Banshee before, that's a great series. Also,
Yeah.
it is on Crave. It was an HBO series. It's again another very violent series. But I do recommend watching Banshee if you haven't watched it yet. But yeah, check out Homelander. It's great. I can go on and on about it, but that's it for me, man. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Um, Not really. I mean, I'm excited. I This is the first time in a while that I think I've been really excited to see the Emmys, mainly because I've been watching a lot more TV shows. Well, because of the pandemic, right? Like, what else are you
Yeah,
fucking gonna do? However, I wanted to talk about outstanding lead actress in a limited series or TV movie, only because I genuinely don't know who will win that. I don't think I can tell you. So you have Elizabeth Olsen for WandaVision, of course, Michaela Cole for I May Destroy You, Cynthia Erivo for Genius Aretha, which I haven't seen and I've heard it's good. Anya Taylor Joy for The Queen's Gambit, of course, and Kate Winslet for Mayor of Easttown. I think there's a lot of heavy hitters there, and I don't know who
I
could
think it's
win.
gonna go between Winslet and Anya. I think those are the two
You
people
think
who are
so?
good. It's gonna go between those two. The performances, like Anya, like I haven't seen Mary yet, but I heard Winslet was fantastic in
Mm-hmm.
that, and I will. But from what I've seen, I'm sorry, not from what I've seen, but from what I'm read,
Mm-hmm.
I heard she is amazing. So I'll obviously have more of an in-depth prediction when it comes to again the predictions before the award show comes
Mm-hmm.
out. But Anya was fantastic. She was
So
and
good.
she's so clearly so invested in the role. You don't invest into her character. So
Mm-hmm.
based on that, like when I watched that series during the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, right away I'm like, oh, she's gonna win. Like
Yeah,
she's
yeah, yeah.
she's winning something for this. Like I don't know what she's winning something
She
for
won the
this.
Globes. Yeah, she won the Globes for that, I think.
Yeah, right. So and
Yeah,
I think that trend will continue to the Emmys. So right now, without watching all the series, for me, she is a clear cut winner for that one.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Are you going to binge? Are you going to watch these shows? Or like, I'm not saying you have to watch every single show because that's like
Yeah,
thousands of hours.
I'm definitely gonna watch a lot of these shows because I said this 100 times on this podcast where like I'm waiting for the sports season to end, and with that being like that ending away and football season about a month away, I'm gonna get through a few different shows and be
Mhm.
caught up on a lot of this stuff. So I'm definitely watching. I think it's because with the Globes, the thing is, it's a little bit, and so not Golden Globes, the Academy Awards. What's
Mhm.
a little bit easier about that? It happens. I know it's happening during sports season again, but at least they're movies, so you're not invested for more than 2 to 3 hours in a
Yeah.
movie. But whereas in a series, it takes a little more time to invest into that. So that's that. I'm glad it's happening when it is happening because it's September. Like, it gives us like some time to watch these shows and not watch them all at once and continue watching them and bang them out one by one. So I'll definitely be watching a lot of these shows. Not
Mhm.
all of them, that's for sure. It's because some of these shows don't interest me. Like
Mhm.
Lovecraft Country, I'm definitely watching. Um, I haven't watched the latest seasons of The Crown, so I know Rupi has been wanting to watch that too. So I'm sure we will be watching that also, add that to our series. Um, and the list goes on from there. And the new season of Ted Lasso is coming back. I'll be watching that. So
Yep.
I do believe that I think some of the winners that will win, I watched them already. I
Okay,
do
fair
believe
enough.
I do believe that part. So
Mhm.
I think all the shows I'll be watching going forward, like the Flight Attendant, I don't think it's gonna win, but I'm gonna watch it
Oh
because it
yeah, I
looks
really
really
want to
good.
watch that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
No, and
looks
I
really good.
know Kaylee Cuoco's she's put in a lot of work on it because this is something that this was a passion project for her. So I'm excited to see her come up with like with the concept that she's really invested in because she didn't get much room to breathe in the Big Bang Theory from
No,
before.
yeah, she was definitely in a role where I was afraid for her that she would be
Mhm.
typecasted going forward, and I thought
Typecasted.
she was in
Yeah.
some of the movies she was put in. Like, this a really bad movie she was in with Kevin Hart and Josh Gad,
Wedding
The
Ringers,
Best
I
Man,
think.
something like that. I can't remember what it
Yeah.
was. Where Josh Gad's hiring like fake best men to be his best man and whatever.
Wedding Ringer.
Like, sorry.
The Wedding Ringer. That's the movie.
Yeah, I see that. It's a terrible movie. I don't. Yeah. So, yeah. So I think like I'm glad she's in a role where she's really like able to spread her wings a little bit and
Yeah.
really take over and show her acting chops. So I'm very excited to watch that for sure.
Mhm.
But if that's everything, man, I think we should sign off.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be back. We have a bunch of movies coming out this week. We have Space Jam coming out this week. We have what other movie? The Quiet Place too. I don't know about in the
Quiet
US,
Place
but it's free to stream in Canada right now on Amazon Prime Video.
on
So
Amazon Prime.
yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, and there's another one I'm wanting to watch is the what's the name of the show? Gunpowder Milkshake. I'm
Milkshake.
very excited about that. It's an all-female action-packed movie. You know, Murad's gonna be a bitch out and not watch this because he's a
Yo, come
bitch.
on, dude.
But Murad will promise to watch Big Brother from Mondays for our Tuesday's episode. So Murad and I will have a good conversation about
I didn't
that.
say that.
Catch you
I
guys
didn't
in the
say
flip
that.
flop.
I didn't
Peace.
that's not you can our lawyers. Peace out.